Hey guys, it's Connor, or Mr. Nacho with Invictous Yugioh, and I'm just here to explain how to do the Noden 2-card FTK combo. And it's about the 10th time I've recorded this, so hopefully it'll work out this time. But I'll just be explaining like what the card effects and some of the stuff you need to look out for is. It's kind of scary how consistent this deck is, so it's pretty solid. There's some hand traps stop it, but the odds that your opponent opens a hand trap that can stop this is pretty low. So we're going to Mathematician into our Violent Cube. You don't have to use Mathematician, it can be Foolish Burial or something, but the important thing is you need a level 3 on the field. So here we're going to Instant Fusion. Now I'm not going to be doing damage and stuff like the gains off Ancient Fairy Dragon and the losses off Defusion and Instant Fusion, just because you usually end up with more life points than you started with. So I'm just going to ignore that. Violent Cube here. This is the loop. When Violent Cube is Synchro Summoned for a late Synchro monster, I can add an equipped spell card to my hand. So we add, like I said, Refusion. And this is the loop. We're going to go Refusion, target, Noden, special summons Violent Cube, send them in the grave. Then Noden is going to grab us another Ancient Fairy Dragon, which is going to let us use Cube's effect to add another Refusion. So that's the loop. You can loop it 3 times. For the 2-card FTK, you only need to loop it twice. With this Refusion, we are going to start looking like we're going to do the loop again. But what we're going to do is make a X-Saber Invoker. Now, what Invoker does is Invoker is going to grab us a Wild Heart. Now, it can be any level 4 Earth Warrior. It doesn't have to be Wild Heart. But Wild Heart is pretty good because of its effect to negate traps, so if you don't go first, it is kind of relevant. And, yeah, so pretty straightforward. X-Saber Invoker, Lavalva Chain. You actually use some really obscure cards in here, and I've actually seen a few people point it out, which is kind of cool. But, it's interesting. So Lavalva Chain is going to draw up us a Shadow Mist. Wherever our Shadow Mist is. Shadow Mist, there you are. And Shadow Mist is going to activate the effect, add Captain Gold to our hand. Now Captain Gold you can detach to add a Skyscraper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add Skyscraper, or I'm going to add Captain Gold to hand, discard it, and then add Skyscraper. So there's the Skyscraper. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate Skyscraper. And I'm going to use one of my Ancient Fairy Dragon's effects to add, or to destroy all field spell cards on the field, gain 1,000 life points, and then add a field spell card to my hand. So I'm going to add Fusion Gate. So Fusion Gate, I'm going to banish my Invoker and my Lavalva Chain to make a second Noden. This Noden, same thing as the other one, it's going to grab Violent Cube. Oh, didn't mean overlay. Synchro Summon. And it is going to, it's going to grab us our 3rd Ancient Fairy Dragon. And we're going to use our Cube's effect to grab us our 3rd Refusion, wherever it is hiding. There it is. And it is going to let us activate Refusion. It's going to grab us our Noden and our Cube. Now what we want to do is we want to, once again, send these 2 to grave. Make a... Now it doesn't have to be Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, but it can be any level 7 light Xyz monster. It pretty much just needs to be able to activate Violent Cube's effect. And it is going to grab us a Symbol of Heritage, which is if 3 of the same name of a monster in the grave, you can target one of them, special summon it, and then when this dies, the other one dies. So this is a lot easier with banned cards like Premature Burial and stuff, and Snatch Steal and stuff, but it's fairly solid either way. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to activate Fusion Gate again. So we're going to banish our Black Rose Moonlight, and we're going to banish our Ancient Fairy Dragon that we used the effect of. And we're going to grab ourselves our 3rd Noden. And Noden is going to grab us our Cube. And Cube is going to Oh yeah, so here's where we actually want to use our second Ancient Fairy Dragon effect. So we're going to blow up our Fusion Gate, and we are going to add a Black Garden. So it's kind of important later in the combo, but we need to get the tokens on the opponent's side of the field. So what we do here is we're going to send Noden to grave, and send Noden to grave, and cube, and make our second light level 7. And use Cube's effect. Now, it's really important that you play another equip spell card, but it actually does not matter what it is. So I am dumb and don't have one in here, so I'm just going to add a Terraforming instead, just to show you what it does. What I was using is I was using Broken Bamboo Sword, just for the troll of it, but it can really be anything. So what we're going to do here is we're going to... So with the Moonlight Dragon, it's going to put a token on the opponent's side of the field. So I'm actually going to quickly switch to my other one. This I think is a goat deck. But yeah, got one token. And then we're going to activate Symbol of Heritage. Symbol of Heritage is going to grab us our... where is he? Noden. Because we have 3 Nodens in grave, so we can grab one of them, special summon it. And then with that, we're also going to special summon, like, doesn't really matter which 4. Shadow Mist is fine. And we're going to overlay these 2. And these, so that puts 2 more counters on. And then we're going to special summon Burner Visor, which is going to put 3 counters on. So I'll just, for the sake of it, put the 3 counters on. Or not counters, tokens, but whatever. And then we're going to overlay our used Ancient Fairy Dragon with our level 7 light, and we're going to make Galaxy Tomahawk. Galaxy Tomahawk puts the final token on your side of the field. That goes to grave. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to set our equip spell card, which definitely isn't terraforming, and what we're going to do is we are going to detach and detach, and we're going to put 2 machine tokens of our own on the field. A Galaxy Tomahawk lets you detach 2 Xyz monsters to put 2 machine tokens on the field. And the only reason why I use Burner Visor is because it's a Pyro type, which we need for the next step of our combo. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our 3rd Ancient Fairy Dragon's effect, send the Black Garden to grave. We are going to add our Fusion Gate to our hand. This is why you have to run 2 Fusion Gates. We're going to activate Fusion Gate. We are going to use one of our tokens and our Burner Visor to... Whoops, you're supposed to be banished. To summon Blaze Phoenix, the Burning Bombardment Bird, probably my favorite card in the game, because it can pull off stuff like this. And what's going to happen is your opponent takes 300 for each card on the field. So right now there's 10 cards on the field, so my opponent's going to take 3,000. Now I just don't want to have to switch between accounts, so I'm just going to take 3,000 on this account. Now your opponent's going to be at 8,000, so they take the first 3,000. Then you're going to banish the Blaze Phoenix and the token, and you are going to make your second Blaze Phoenix. Now there's 9 cards on the field, so your opponent's going to take 2,700. And then what you're going to do is you're going to use your final Fusion Gate to banish your Blaze Phoenix and banish your Galaxy Tomahawk. And you're going to special summon your last Blaze Phoenix. And now that there is 7 cards on the field, your opponent's going to take 2,100. And I did the math wrong. Okay, so just a quick thing. I'm looking at what I did wrong because all the math should add up to this being right, and it turns out that I'm actually just dumb. Like, really dumb. And I forgot to count Fusion Gate into my Blaze Phoenixes, so in reality your opponent's taking an additional 900 because all 3 of the Bombardment Birds had a Fusion Gate on the field. So your opponent would take an additional 900, which would drop them to 600 under the life point leader. So, there you go. 2-card FTK. Really what it requires you to do is not draw into some of this stuff. So you pretty much just need to not draw into the Shadow Mist, not draw into the Wild Heart, and I think that's it. pretty much you can draw into whatever else you want, just it needs to be able to be used. So, really consistent, doesn't really brick because you only need 2 cards. It only takes up 15 cards of your main deck, so you can run a 25 card draw engine. You could run a deck and just play this as like a side engine. Like, literally whatever you want. I've seen people play 25 card Shaddolls. Oh, actually no, you can't play Shaddolls. But it uses your entire extra deck. So I've seen people play Ignites, I've seen people play Cliff Forts, like anything that doesn't require an extra deck. And like, it's really good. And I think that's about it. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Feel free to subscribe, look at our website, see if you want to join the clan, or follow us on Twitter to get notifications when we put up more confusing and instructional videos like this. So see you guys later.